Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay Scene, and today I wanted to do a kind of like a discussional predictions video for the Elderwoods that's just been recently announced. There's a lot of everybody's super excited about it, and I've seen a lot of people posting online. Oh, what's gonna be here? What's all involved? What we gonna get? So I kind of wanted to make a video talking about what I kind of expect and kind of see looking into a game like this, and looking into the content of what all we're gonna get, and then maybe do a bit of predicting. You know. Um, and see what see how close I get upon actual release. So if you enjoy paleo content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, and let's get into it. So as I mentioned, the Elderwoods was recently announced and supposed to be coming out sometime early next year. So, we got two teaser pictures, as we can see here. Lots of purple. We see big mushrooms. The big mushrooms are something that really catches my eye within these teasers. I'm very curious on if we're going to be able to bounce on top of the mushrooms to get to other places, kind of like how in Bahari, where we have the geysers that take us up to higher cliff sides. Don't know if they've got some sort of like movement idea with the mushrooms or something like that, but looking at the teaser picture, it's kind of a vibe I kind of get after playing a few video games in my past. But I don't know. But as I said, everything's a lot of purple. It's a lot of flow infused magic, and so given all what little we have, and given how Bahari and Killamus are set up, I think it's pretty safe to say we can make some pretty good predictions. And I think, to give it simply put, to start off easy, I want to start off with the idea of ore. Because in Killama we have copper, and then we get iron in Bahari, and so I think we're going to get, obviously, a third layer of ore in the Elderwood. Now, what type of wood are we to expect, or what type of ore are we to expect? Well, typically, I would feel next in line might be mithril. Mithril's always been kind of like almost like a magical looking type of ore anyways. So I could definitely see like mithril ore to be mined to make new mithril bars and make new stuff with that. I also see the idea of coal, maybe, because coal's used in a lot of crafting anyways, and it's a different thing than flint is. And you could basically use coal and iron to make steel, so they could probably still give us iron in Elderwoods, but also give us coal, and we'd kind of mix like 1 and 1 to make the next level. I think that would be something really cool that they might do. So those are my main two guesses. Now, as far as like the pallium goes, because pallium is a rare resource located in Bahari, I do think we're going to get some sort of like rare resource in the Elderwoods. And I don't think it's necessarily going to be pallium. I think it's going to be some sort of like flow infused ore, like maybe like flowium, or maybe even flow infused pallium. We might just get pallium again, but it's flow infused pallium, so it might be more of a purplish color rather than the bluish color that pallium currently is. So I do think that's a good possibility, and I think we'll probably be getting a couple of new gems. I would guess, if I had to guess, I would say we're probably going to get 3 new gems. Could I guess which gems? Absolutely not. I'm not a big gemstone person, so I'm not even going to attempt to guess the gemstones. I'm going to say maybe a diamond. I'm going to throw out and say diamond. If I get diamond out of one of the three, you know, we might get diamonds. Now, moving on to the wood, you know, or foraging per se, we'll start off with the trees. Obviously, we're going to get a third layer of wood. Although sap and heart, I feel like the next level I would have put it would have been Elderwood. But since we're going to the Elderwoods, I don't think Elderwood's going to be like the next level of wood. I mean, it could be just, they could just call it Elderwood. I can't think of a name. They'll probably make up a name. But for now, I'm going to just say Elderwood. But they do have those big mushrooms that I pointed out earlier in the video. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got maybe a mushwood. I think a mushroom-styled wood would be really cool. And I think a lot of people wouldn't mind cutting down mushrooms. So I definitely think mushwood is definitely a good possibility on the table. And obviously similar to the pallium, we had flowwood and bahari and kilima. And with as common as flowwood is, I don't think they're going to give us flowwood in this area as well. What I think they're going to do is we're going to get greater flowwood. It'll probably work very similar. Hopefully we don't get as much because we get a lot of flowwood. You know, I'm rolling in flowwood myself. But I definitely think it's going to be called greater flowwood. And that's going to be my guess for the trees parts. Now on to the plants. The plants are a little bit harder because I am not a botanist by any means. So I don't know much about plants. I'm wanting to learn myself. But yeah, so I mean, I can guess that we'll probably get like a wild rose being the rare flower. And I definitely could see it being a giftable, romanceable option. Kind of like the heart drop lily. So I definitely am thinking maybe we'll get some sort of like rose, like a wild rose or something. Now as far as like mushrooms go, Gina does say that each section does have their own mushroom, so we do know that's getting its own mushroom. The only other mushroom that's in the game technically is in Hot Pot. We got enokis, and enokis would grow off trees in the middle of the woods very well, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got enokis. I think a puffball mushroom could be a good possibility. You know, we might just get, you know, like a classic, you know, like shiitake, maybe. Maybe even like a bolete. We might get some sort of bolete mushroom. But I'm definitely going to go with enokis. Enokis are definitely my guess for the mushroom we're going to get. And maybe they'll grow off trees. I think that would be really cool. And then obviously we're going to get some sort of like herb or spice that's gatherable. You know, I'm gonna just go out and say basil because I'm not really a cook, so I don't really know. As I mentioned before, I don't really know too much about plants. So I'm gonna guess basil. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna get a wild rose, we're gonna get enoki mushrooms, and we're gonna get basil. And then for a ground mushroom, I'm gonna guess maybe we'll get chanterelles. I'm gonna guess a chanterelle. That's an odd pick, but you know, take a little chance, right? Now moving on to the animal section of it. I think it's a good possibility that we will see maybe like a new level of Sernuk. Maybe instead of like an elder, we'll get like the Grand Elder Sernuks, which will be, you know, like more powerful than the Elder Sernuks. And maybe we'll get another level of Muujin. I don't technically see Choppas going. They might include a new level of Choppas because Choppas are kind of like their spokespeople. You know, they're like, you know, Avatar or whatever. So I definitely could see them bringing Choppas over. But I also see a new animal being released. And if they decide to keep the Choppa in the first two areas and don't bring another layer of Choppas, I feel like we need another small animal. So I feel like another small, like, huntable animal would be that of a rabbit. You know, obviously Sernuk are deer and Mujins are wolves. So they're based off, you know, animals that's in the real world. So I'm guessing a rabbit is going to be the next one. I figured it can probably, like, you know, hop back and forth like in a zigzag pattern, and then like the magic version of it will hop much further distances and go higher. You know, because we're going into higher level zones, I figure the creatures are going to be a bit more harder to hunt, you know? They're going to take a bit more hits. They're going to be a bit more tricky with their movements. So I think that would be a great thing to do for a rabbit. And plus, like, let's be honest, if they added farmable rabbit plushies, I would go pretty feral for a rabbit plushie in my house. Just saying. Just saying. So I definitely think rabbits are a good possibility. But throwing it out there, I also think we might get boars. Boars could have an innate ability to run a little faster than normal, you know, Mujin and Sernuk, to make them a little more difficult, you know, because we are in a higher quote-unquote leveled zone. And then the a magic boar, I could definitely get like a sprint or a charge ability. Kind of like how the disco deer teleports. You know, I think a movement would be really good and would fit in with the boar stereotype. And I would also love a cute little, like, boar piggy plushie with, like, a cute little piggy nose. I think that would be super adorable. And so I would definitely be down to hunt some boars. So I think either boars or rabbits are going to be our next two huntable creatures in the next zone. Now, speaking on that, obviously, if they're going to be more powerful monsters, we're going to need more powerful weapons. So, aka arrows is what I'm talking about. I definitely think we're going to get an upgraded version of the arrow. I think, you know, if we go with steel or mithril, obviously instead of iron arrows, we're going to get steel or mithril arrows, which will do more damage than the iron arrows, obviously. But then I also would like, now this one is not really more of a guessing, more of a want. I would like to see another tech arrow, and I have thought myself personally of a stun arrow. You know, it could be like a freezing arrow or a shock arrow, but it basically stuns a monster or an animal for like, I don't know, a quarter of a second. But then you can't do it but once every like 3 seconds. So that it basically has an internal cooldown. That way it's not super OP and everybody's just chaining stun so that, you know, the animal can never move and then it's just an easy hunt. You know, that would be unfair. So I think it would be good to do it like a quarter of a second stun. That way it's a good, like, initiator for you and your party. So you and your party can go get a bunch of hits off the bat, and if you don't get it in time, well, then you gotta, you know, reassess, you know. But I definitely think that would be like a really cool new tech arrow to add to the slow and dispel arrows that we already have. And so I will say yes, I think we're going to get a new arrow, whether it be steel or mithril arrows, and then I'm going to hope for a shocking arrow. Now, moving on into a similar mindset over to the bug category, you know, we do know that there are 3 levels of bugs, you know, common, uncommon, and rare. So on the bare minimum, I would assume we would get 3 common, 2 uncommon, and 1 rare. You know, but I don't think they're going to do the bare minimum, so I'm going to double it. I think we're going to get 6 regular bugs. I think we're going to get 4 uncommon bugs, and we're going to get 2 rare bugs. That's what I'm going with. I feel like that's a nice new variety for a new area. I would love to, like, have originally tripled it and said we'd get up and ending 3 rare ones, but I don't know, you know, a lot of what's to go on, so I definitely think that we are, I'm gonna stick with the initial 12 bugs. I think we're gonna get 12 new bugs. Now, on that note of actually guessing the bugs, I can pretty much say we're gonna get a common butterfly and we're gonna get a common moth. I feel like that's just what they're gonna do. Both are very common within the game anyways. They're a good filler bug. So going on that note, I do think we're gonna get I think we're gonna get a rare butterfly and a rare moth. I don't think we're going to get an uncommon version of those. I think we're just going to get two versions, a rare and a common, of each one of those. So as far as like any other bugs go, obviously we get a bug when we forage items in the game. You know, we've gotten ladybugs, we've gotten mantises. So I was trying to think of what bug we might get in this next area for foraging, and I'm gonna guess a centipede. I do know we have a couple of millipedes in the game. One of them we get from breaking rocks. But I do think we'll get maybe like I'm thinking like a red centipede is gonna be the bug that we get from foraging. Now, we also get a bug when mining. So I definitely think we're going to get a new bug when breaking over ore in this new area. And my guess for that bug is going to be the pill bug, aka the roly-poly. You know, I can definitely see us busting open an ore and then all of a sudden seeing like a roly-poly, you know, just roll away, you know, or a pill bug just kind of like soup up and roll away, you know. And so I'm guessing a pill bug is what's going to come out of our rocks. Now, as far as like any other bugs go, I think we also get bees when we cut down trees. And both we get the golden glory bee and the bahari bee. So do I think we're going to get another bee maybe if we cut down trees? Maybe. But what I would like to see is when you cut down a tree, having a spider or maybe like two spiders like crawl out from the tree. I think that would be really cool. We're in the middle of the woods. I think that would be a good way to add a spider bug to catch. And then, you know, as I said, I do like to do a little wild card pick in a couple of these categories. And in Bahari, the fact that you can catch crabs really like is such an odd thing to me. I would have never thought of it. I mean, now that I think about it in retrospect, it does. But to say, I think we're going to get some sort of like caving system in this new area. And just throwing it out there, I do know that bats are mammals, but I think we could have the opportunity to catch a bat with our bug catching equipment. I think bat plushies would be really cute. And I think that it's a good possibility. And that's my wild card throwing out there is to catch bats in caves. Because other than that, caves don't really have any bugs. And in Bahari, I'm talking about in the game. I know in real life there are tons of bugs in caves. So, but I think there will be some sort of cave bug as long as we have caves. So, now moving on to the bug catching bombs. I do think we're going to get an upgrade. I think we're going to get some sort of new bomb. But with the way the bombs work and the fact that we already have pretty much a master ball, quote unquote, in Pokemon terms, I don't think we're going to get a more powerful smoke bomb. So what I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and just give an off-the-wall guess is I'm going to say they're going to give us the big smoke bomb, where you throw a bigger bomb that hits a bigger radius, but it has a slightly lower catch rate. Because there are so many times I think I hit a bug and I miss it, and I'm like, oh, if you were just slightly bigger, I would have hit you. And that would have just helped me catch that bug a lot quicker. So I definitely would like one with a bigger radius, and I'm okay with the fact of it having a slightly lower catch rate to kind of balance it out, so it's not too overpowerful. So I definitely would throw in my guess for a new bug bomb to be the big smoke bomb. Okay. Now, moving on to fish. Now, obviously, we have no idea what type of fish, how many different fishing areas we're going to get. I know in Kilima we have cave fish, river fish, pond fish, and lake fish. And then in Bahari we have river fish, cave fish, and ocean fish. Now, they both have the same cave fish in both Kilima and Bahari. So if we get caves in the Elderwoods, are they gonna have the same cave fish? I would hope they give us new cave fish. I do think we're gonna get caves, and I do think we're gonna have cave fish, and then I think this is gonna be a landlocked zone. So I think we might have like a pond or two. And then I think we're going to have a river like dividing like the east and west sides of it. Like how Bahari has a wall that divides it north and south. I think we're going to get an east to west divide with the river. But I'm going to say, if the developers are listening to my videos, which they're probably not, please make the rivers, more of them, deeper. I feel like going for like when I'm star hunting, like starfish hunting in like the rivers of Bahari or Kilima, it's like I gotta run to like the next like little fishing hole. And I definitely would like more of the river being a little deeper. I mean, we can hop across most of the deep parts of the river anyways with our gliders. So, you know, don't make as much shallow river, you know? So, I'm definitely going to say that we're going to get river, ponds, and cave fish. And assuming, you know, we get 3 of each kind of no-bait worms and glowworms, you know, I could easily, you know, see a good like 12... good 18. I'm guessing, because it's hard to guess the kinds of fish because there's going to be so many variety, and I don't know how many of them is going to be reused. But if they bring in 100% all new fish, I could see us getting a new 18 to 21 new fish. So my guess, I'm going a bit strong on this. I'm giving them, you know, the full faith. I think we're going to get like 18 to 21 new fish to catch. And rivers, ponds, and caves. You know, I could say that we're going to get new bass and trout and blah, 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 all the typical kinds. So, not going to guess any of those. I will say I think we might get a crappie. We might get a walleye. And I could definitely see us getting a salmon. I think we could get a cool salmon in the river. I don't think we're going to get upgraded tools, because our tools are already as powerful as they are. Like, I don't know how you can upgrade the hoe any more powerful, or the watering can any more powerful, unless they up the duration. So the only way I can see us getting new tool upgrades with this is going to be with just a durability increase. They'll just last longer, which would be cool, As far as other predictions go, as far as like the Elderwoods go, obviously they said we're going to get new quests, and I have a good idea of somebody we might meet, which is somebody related to somebody in Kilima, but I don't want to do any spoilers for anybody who hasn't done that part of that person's friendship quest. So I'm just going to leave it there. I definitely expect those quests to be there. But yeah, so I do think we're going to get maybe like a small little village with like, I want to guess they're going to give us maybe 6 new NPCs, 2 of which maybe are romanceable, you know? I mean, if we're getting a whole new area, you know, you got to really fill in that area. And you can't just release a whole area without any sort of, you know, people. So I definitely see us getting new people. I'm going to guess 6 new people with 2 of them being romanceable. I don't think that's asking too much. I don't think that's too big. So I'm definitely going to throw my hat in on that guess. And I know that was all the notes I had written, so I guess that's all of my predictions I'm gonna make, you know. Now I don't know any of this. Like I mean, I know I should have forewarned and led with this, but I don't have any sort of data mining knowledge. So if you have any sort of data mining knowledge, please do not post it in the comments. But I would like to hear other people's opinions and guesses. And so I wouldn't mind listening to y'all. So if you guys want to put down in the comments your guys' predictions and guesses of what you think we might get in the Elderwoods, I'd love to read it. And then check back in this video like 6 months from now or 8 months from now whenever we get the Elderwoods and see how right we all were. You know, go over me and some of the top comments and see who got what right and who got what wrong. You know, I think this would be a fun thing to do. So I just kind of wanted to, I'm just super excited about the Elderwoods. I wanted to talk about it and I wanted to put some of my thoughts out there. I know I'm a bit jumbled. I try to keep it as organized as possible. You know, I might have missed a couple of ideas that I had, but you know, my mind's just constantly flowing and I know they can't fit everything into one thing. So, you know, I guess I'm gonna just leave that at that. You can always catch me live at twitch.tv/kfiercene and thank y'all for listening to me today and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.